me respond a little bit what Dr. Isaac is saying. First of all, as a state, we should not envy about the revenue model of the central government. Today, central government has a borrowing power. Today, central government has direct taxation power. But don't we see that central government has to maintain a large army in this country? They has to protect frontiers of the country. They have to do a lot of diplomacy in the country. They have to invest money in the sector like railway, like national highway, where they will not get the return. So scrapping to Niti Aayog, scrapping planning commission, moving to Niti Aayog, doesn't mean that central government is now become all powerful. I think devolution become more transparent, and today's state, without giving hajira to the planning commission, we can keep our we can drive our own destiny.
So I want to shift the issue sort of back to GST. So we hope to see compliance increase. I think that's another long-term, we are hoping, at least I'm hoping. All the signs are that, and I hope our signs materialize, that GST is also a step towards cleaning up the system. It's one step towards cleaning up. I don't think it is going to clean up the whole system, but I hope by rationalizing things, by reducing human interference, we can get more people to comply. And the way it is structured also, I am hoping it will force people to comply because of backward and forward integration, because of integration across state borders, that, we will shift a little from black and gray to onboard economy. And so that is also something. One is, I also want to pick on Dr. Isaac's point of how much of the tax reduction will be passed on to consumers. And I'm also looking at how much compliance increase we will see out of GST, and how it will lead to a cleaner economy in the long term, and how whether GST will also help in connecting the economic system to the direct taxation. Maybe we will see some increase in direct taxation also because of the data that will emerge from GST, because the whole GST is built on a powerful IT system, and that could generate a lot of data which could go into other sectors as well. So if that happens, I think the country as a whole will also benefit. But these are all anticipations and aspirations. Of course, not just aspirations, but structures have been put in place to achieve this. And I hope that's another major contribution of GST we are hoping. And I hope it will materialize.
I had a quick macro question out of your micro intervention, that on inflation. There seems to be a tremendous certitude that post GST there will be, there will be an inflationary, the pressures will ease. So I don't know where this is emerging from. So either of you can.
Two quick comments. One, I think, picking up the earlier discussion, please realize that this is a self-assessment model. GST is a self-assessment model. So the entire nature of your tax regime changes, and it's a hugely complex, which will lead to a better compliance and so on and so forth. As regards inflation, I think my own sense is that you will see a salutary effect on inflation. You will see it peaking off for two reasons. One, of course, is the fact of the way you have cut the peak rates, and you are eventually setting the stage for a single rate GST, which is somewhere around 14-15%, because bulk of the commodities are now in the 12 and the 18% bracket. So eventually this is what will morph into one single rate, which is what the aspiration has been. Exempt categories and the sin goods categories, 28% is less now. Second is that whatever has been cut is in alignment with the new social realities of India. A refrigerator is not a luxury today. A mobile phone is not a luxury today. So when you put them in brackets of tax which are low, then you're recognizing the new emerging social reality of India. You have a middle class which is growing, and one thing which I said in the council yesterday, and I'd like to repeat it here, is that what the CSO needs to do now is to work out a new consumption basket so that you can align that with the realities of the. My own sense is, looking at the overall picture in terms of what Krishna also said, that a large gain from GST will come also from the direct tax corrections, because you will now, data from indirect taxes will speak to direct taxes, and you will see a much higher buoyancy. The debate really is between buoyancy and elasticities of taxes. My belief is you will see a much better compliance because of low rates and also a much higher buoyancy because of that. On other issues, we can argue with Isaac till the cows come home. Borrowing powers restricted by the Constitution of India under Article 280, nothing to do with GST. But a very interesting clause there, that you have to go through this subject to your being indebted to center. The day you pay off your debts to center, you are a free man, you can borrow your head off, Isaac.